Hey everybody, Kenny here, back with Felsi Arbor's Mark. In today's video, we're going to be going over class stat growths, what they are, and why to an extent they're kind of important. So, let's say you wanted to create a character whose entire purpose is putting a very strong weapon on them for them to use to hit something really hard. Well, then during leveling, what you would be looking for is a character who, in this growth part here, had the highest attack value possible. In this case, the Reaver has a 5.5, and that is the highest we see among the entirety of the available classes. Let's go and check our other characters. So Spymaster, go below. Demon Knight is higher, so Anadine can actually get to very nice heights. Bounty Hunter is below. Exiled is below. Werewolf is same as Reaver. Lord, Vessel, Lich, and Vampire are below. And Princess is below. So with the exception of Anadine, the clear choice if your goal is to make Big Bonk make hurt bad is to use the Reaver. Now let's say you wanted to double up. You wanted a character who was a Spellblade. So you use both magic and might in equal measure. So what we're looking for is attack and mind, both at a decent value. So the best bang for your buck, if that's what you're looking for, is to go after the War Mage or Fellblade, because they both have decent growths in both. However, another way to go would be to do some kind of hybrid where you level, let's say, 10 levels in Reaver, and then you switch over to, let's say, a Vessel that has a 6.2 mind growth, or a Lich with the 6.5 mind growth. Mind you, obviously, this only works with your created characters. You do 10 levels, and, with a created character, you could do Reaver or Werewolf. So I guess it depends on whether you want more HP. Because Reaver gets you more HP, Werewolf gets you more speed and resistance. So if you want to go that route, it's up to you what you favor. But that is how you would improve how high you could get those stats for a character. So how much does that matter? To be honest, not much. It plays a role, definitely plays a role. But let's look at my Hing here. So this is a character, this is one of my only created characters. Like I see, I have a very small army. I believe that Virgil and Lana, maybe even Rin. I think for sure these two, I think they give you at the start of the game. But in a separate video, I'll go over why they look different. But so they give you these two at the start of the game, and I made this one, I think, and then I definitely made this one and this one. So with my created characters, I definitely had goals in mind set for each. And for this character, my goal was to be a Spellblade. I wanted him to have very high attack, very high mind. Let's go, let's just drop everything off. And I was sitting on Werewolf, but let's look at... So you can see that attack and mind on this character are pretty much even. You're looking at 372, 375. But here's why it doesn't play that... Unfortunately, it doesn't play that big a role. Let's see, let's have him become a Lord. Alright, so he's a Lord. He can equip anything, literally anything. So let's look at what's the highest damage weapon. So far 162 is looking like it may be the highest. Yeah, so about 162 is as high as the damage gets with a weapon in this game, which is this Reaper here. However, Felseal isn't like Final Fantasy Tactics. We can do some cheeky nonsense where, see, I equip this, and I go in here, and I go and I switch to Sturdy Grip and Dual Wield. Oh, they changed it. So you can do that now. It used to be very literal with the wording on Sturdy Grip. Sturdy Grip says that allows the character to hold the melee two-handed weapon in one hand and equip the shield regardless of the currently selected class. So that used to mean that if you wanted to hold a shield with a two-handed weapon, you would need to use Sturdy Grip. But Dual Wield would not allow you to dual wield two-handed weapons. So you can do that now, which is funny. Anyway, so by doing... You can do cheeky stuff now, which is nice. let's see, 134, is that the highest second weapon? The 140 looks like. Like that, he's sitting at 674. Then we can go and do something. We can do something like this. Get to 738. So we're not as strong as Kyrie, but we're pretty good. So with Kyrie, obviously, because her story class has a very high attack, and I did a lot of leveling with her in Reaver, she probably has the highest native attack out of all my characters. Well, how she's able to get all the way up to 931 by having some good weapons and also having the attack expert perk on. Which if I take that off, push it down to 808, which is still higher than our boy's 738 over there. So while specifically leveling a certain way can have a notable effect, a lot of times it's not that notable. As a matter of fact, the most notable thing I can say about growths doesn't really have to do with the defensive or physical stats, it has more to do with HP and MP. You can see with my story characters, none of them really have very high MP because all of them got a 1 MP gain per level, 4 MP gain per level. Here we're looking at 3 MP gain per level, 2 MP gain per level. Here we're looking at 1 MP gain per level. I believe I had to do Templar for most of the game. 2 MP gain per level. So if we look at characters who leveled with caster classes, so he has more MP than most of them because he leveled mostly as a Fellblade and a Spell Sword. Look at Spellblade and Spellblade and War Mage at 3 and 2.5. Then Yates, we're looking at 304 because his base is a 4.5, and I did a lot of leveling with him as a Plague Doctor, which is a 3.0, and I think, yeah, and Wizard 4.5. Then we look at our Virgil, who actually, so I'm actually surprised that my Virgil's growth isn't higher there because, I mean, he's lower level than the rest of my characters, but most of his leveling came from caster classes. Yeah, I'm not really sure what slowed down his leveling, but you can see my Lana, oh, she's, well, once again, much higher level. He has a ton of MP. Rain has some good MP. Kalane has good MP. Pacha, once again, her base class doesn't really have any good, and had her use Assassin a lot, same thing. And for this guy, he actually has a very high MP growth as his base class, but I had him, so you can see that he's my highest level character and has crazy high MP. So now I'm not saying that having lots of MP, lots of max MP means anything, because honestly it doesn't, because every turn you gain your MP to use your skills, and you don't start battle with MP. And while you can do some stuff like a setup I like to use is to have, these two are set up as Gadgeteers. Reason for that is because as Gadgeteers, here we go, gadgets, we look at the Energizer, restores 20 MP to the target. And they have the initiative skill on, so they both go twice at the start of combat. So they're able to give any character that needs to have lots of MP at the start of combat, in addition, like just start off with a bonus 80 MP, which is really nice. But like, there's no real way to maximize MP in this game. So this guy, if he ever reaches 486 MP in a single combat, then I don't even know what that would mean. I mean, maybe if I had him set up to use Leech Mana along with, after checking into it, like other than just hitting something really hard with Life Leech on, I don't see reaching max MP for a character like this actually happening. But clearly MP growth makes a difference here. So really, like, any defensive leveling you want to do to make it that you don't need to equip armor to still be a functional unit, that's a perfectly valid strategy. So if you wanted to just have a character level as a Templar, I suppose, Knight. Yeah, so let's say you wanted to level a character as a Knight, get all that HP, defense, and resistance. That's a perfectly valid way to level a character, even if your intention for that character was to be your mage or offensive character. You know, just so that way, once they're at the right level, you could just equip them with all of the movement, speed, and attack power you want to overcome any shortcomings. So while I was working on a completely different video, I realized that I had forgotten two things that I should have mentioned in this video. One I had just forgotten about, and the other I had meant to talk about during this video, and it just slipped my mind. So the first thing is that for Bizarro, there are no stack growth. The way Bizarro works is that whatever is the main that you pick, so if you pick a Niwot or a Cadaver, whatever the stats are for that particular monster at the level Bizarro is at, those are Bizarro stats. They're entirely based on, so you can see like it just shifts with each time I move this around, 3 shifts. Because it's entirely based on them, not on Bizarro, so you don't have to worry about any stack growth stuff with Bizarro. The other thing I forgot about, so that was the thing I forgot to mention, but the thing I actually forgot about was if you go to the guild, then you can reset a character's level, which if your intention is to solely level a character at a specific class to get the specific stack growth you want for that character, then this is an option. But as the developers mention in that little blurb when you pick reset level, it's only recommended if you really just want to min-max, but it absolutely is not necessary. As I mentioned, as far as stack growths go, it makes a difference, but not a significant difference. And that's how stack growths work in Fel'Cio Arbiter's Mark. I'm not sure how helpful any of you will find this, considering that honestly, at the beginning, I kind of felt maybe this would be a valuable subject to discuss, but the more I talked about it, the more I kind of talked myself out of believing that's the case. Anyways, that's it for me. Have a great day. Talk to you later.